I'm about to tell you exactly how to sell voice AI to the home services niche. Hi, my name is Roman Peshke. I run a $15,000 a month AI automation agency, and this came from a question in the comments. Answer the questions in the comments below all of these daily update videos. And today I had a little extra time on my hands. We're doing a deep dive right here. So we got, hey man, from SLM10NY. Hey man, can you tell me how to sell voice agents to home services, like how to package the offer, how to make the offer, how to build it, etc. So that is exactly what we're about to run through right here. Then we'll answer the rest of those questions at the end. So this is what you're going to sell. You're going to sell one thing tied to their dream outcome, which is more booked stuff on their calendars. So your voice AI is going to answer in one ring, as well as call the inbound leads if they are running ads, qualify the caller, book the job on the text calendar, and follow up with every single missed lead until it's scheduled. Now for this example, I'm doing HVAC because you didn't specify which home service, but we'll get into expansion at the end of this little doc right here. So again, you charge for book jobs, not promises. That'll end the price shopping. Here's how you can package the offer. 24/7 AI booking agent for HVAC, which you can rename for the other niches later on. Core outcome, more book jobs under 60-second speed to lead, and full after hours coverage. These are the more tangible things that you can talk about with the client, which is 24/7 call answer, booking straight into the calendar, SMS email confirmations, reactivation of missed/abandoned leads at 7, 14, 30 days. Those are just easy reactivation campaigns you can do to scoop up old leads. And then, of course, a nice little weekly report with basically your stats on how you're doing so that it's clear to both sides what's going on. Risk reversal you can bake in is no second payment until you book the first 20 jobs. So that would function as your guarantee. And then your social proof, if you're starting from scratch, you can go search for industry average or results that other people have produced, and just don't lie and say those are your numbers. Just say on average a 24/7 voice receptionist in the HVAC niche specifically produces XYZ. But once you do have proof of your own, this is where you throw in your actual stats. It makes your offer that much compelling. Pricing and terms for HVAC, this seems a little bit more appropriate just because the value of the book job kind of varies, and this is just your starting point. So $497 setup plus $497 every 4 weeks. That'll squeeze out your extra billing cycle right there. 13 per year instead of 12, so you get a little extra revenue right there. 25 booking per job is functioning as an incentive alignment. Plus, if you're actually doing a good job, you can make bank while still keeping the lights on, because this will net you, well, not net, but this will generate pretty much $1,000 right up front, so you can stop worrying about that. And then this will basically be uncapped based on the terms you discuss. So this is a pretty important step, which is the definition of a booked job, since you're going to be collecting payment based on your booked jobs there. These are just some loose ones that I threw on here. Feel free to make any adjustments, but make sure the caller is in the service area, wants a paid service, and is scheduled into an available time slot with name, phone, address, and the service type clearly listed. I would exclude warranty calls with zero revenue generated for the business owner, and talk about that on the call so that can kind of put them at ease. Out of area, duplicates within 14 days, and then just, of course, the obvious spam ones. Optional monthly cap or budget threshold. Again, this would be on a client per client basis. And then the service level agreement in simple terms is that you answer in one ring, return web leads in less than 60 seconds, book them into the calendar, and send the confirmations. And the master agreement, this is covering the data use, recording consent language, what the book job is, payment terms, cancellation, liability limits. That's kind of a little bit of what we touched on right here. And then we jump more into some light legal stuff, because this is not legal advice, but I covered a little bit down below. Some messaging hooks that you could use. HVAC owners, your phones leak jobs after 5 p.m. We answer in one ring, book jobs 24/7, no second payment until we book 20. Want it live in 48 hours. I think these are just things that you could weave into paid ads or your cold outreach that are pretty compelling points. And then if you are doing the cold DM route, here is a little sample call to action when you're trying to pitch it in 1 to 2 sentences. I guess this is 3. After hours and missed calls are costing you book jobs. We answer in one ring, qualify, and book 24/7 into the calendar. And then you don't pay again until we book your first 20. You want to get this live in 48 hours? Fulfillment and build. I would use Go High Level if you want a 14-day free trial. Link is in the description there. This is where I build my voice AI agents. It uses retail AI on the back end there, and they just launched outbound cold calls. So if they are running ads, you could set this up to call outwardly to the lead right when they submit their details there, instead of waiting for them to call into the business, which I highly recommend. So this is how you can do the fulfillment in 48 hours. Intake, get the service offered, pricing rules, service areas, and the zip codes. Get your on-call rotation, booking windows, and buffers, so see who else in the business is on call and when. Get the disqualifiers down in writing so you know how to properly qualify their leads. Get their frequently asked questions, which might be on their website, but again, always good to be in communication with the business owner and the top objections that they are seeing. As you work in this niche more and more, you will know these like off the top of your head, no problem. But to get started, definitely worth a deep dive there. You can also explore Reddit groups, HVAC company websites, and all that kind of stuff. And even I'm sure there are sales trainers specifically for the HVAC industry that have probably made free YouTube videos covering top objections. So that is definitely worth a search. That way you can go into that phone call more prepared. And you can kind of demo how it would handle one of the most common objections in there. I think that's a dynamite way to go. Then, of course, you need calendar access and preferred confirmation wording. Day one, this shifts over to you. Again, this is all on the intake, so this would be an onboarding call or a kickoff call, depending on how you want to phrase it. Day one, get the numbers, buy the numbers through High Level, make sure all the calls are set up to record, make sure to get the text availability, buffers, zip filters, any kind of separate calendars that they use. Lead capture, I just use Go High Level for everything. Enable call back in 60 seconds, SMS if there's no answer there. You can do a voicemail drop as well. Pipelines and tags, booked, no-show, price shopper, added area. Again, try and keep this simple, especially at first, because High Level has a bunch of features and can get very bogged down. So try and keep it simple. Automation, new lead, auto call. If it fails, SMS, try to reschedule. After hours, voicemail to text. So if somebody opts in at like 1 in the morning, voicemail to text, instant callback, book confirmations. Notifications, confirmation, texts and emails, daily summary to the owners. And then here's some good places to start with the voice agent prompt. I would just workshop this with ChatGPT, and then it's going to be a lot of just testing on your side, as well as inside of High Level. There are a bunch of built-in features in the voice AI stuff where it'll basically read your prompt and give you suggestions and tips on that, and then you can go back and forth with that and then just testing it against yourself and running through different scenarios. So that's what I would recommend there. Compliance, just add like, hey, this call is being recorded, and make sure the consent is on the forms as well. Day two is going to be a bunch of quality testing, and this is where you go live. So you're going to test 10 plus scenarios based on the frequently asked questions, top objections, qualifiers, all that, and just kind of run it through with your agent and make sure that it can handle probably 80% of the edge cases there. Then you're going to go live, review the top 10 calls for week one, tighten up the prompts and the disqualifiers, and then just kind of rinse and repeat until your error rate drops down to like 5% or less. Weekly report, calls, bookings, show rate, percent, first response time, estimated revenue, issues and fixes. First response time should be insanely fast, and that would be something to definitely highlight on there, especially if you can pull their old data and do a comparison. Be like, before you were responding in X amount of time, now you're responding in Y time. That is a percent change of blah, blah, blah. And this has boosted your bookings by X amount. So if you can collect those pre-you stats, absolutely do it, especially because that makes your testimonial collection that much more compelling in the future, because you can do a before versus after comparison. Here's some KPIs to manage. Bookings per call. That's our North Star right there. So that would just be like how many bookings per 100 calls. First response time. If you're getting a lot of like 1 a.m.s or something, that would be the only thing I could see dropping this as far as outbound calls. Your after hour capture rate, and then try and draw a comparison to what they were doing before. Show rate. This if this isn't great, I would workshop what is called a show magnet with the business owner, which is basically a bribe to make sure that the appointment stays confirmed. So, for an example, if you are in the martial arts industry, you could give away a free uniform if they show up, and then the show magnet would be a video from whoever is going to be taking that appointment, holding up a uniform with a little sticky note with the person's name on it. Say, hey, name, have your uniform set aside. Just wanted to shoot this over and basically show you. I have a medium here. Can you just confirm that that's the best size for you? Thanks. See you at X time. So that's an example of a show magnet that can improve the show rate if that is a big issue. Then cost per book job. Basically make sure that your $25 fee makes sense. And then you can play around with your base as you get more clients, as you get more testimonials. You can justify a higher price as long as the value you are providing is bigger than whatever your fee is, of course. Outreach plan, easy, rule 100. DMs, emails, calls. You can use Google Maps and local directories. Some example email subject lines are right here. After hours booking, you're missing 24/7 answers in one ring. Turn it on 48 hours just to kind of pique some curiosity. Now, some lower friction offers that you can do here. So offer a 48-hour pilot and delay the second payment as a safety net. So basically say, hey, we'll do a little 48-hour test. We'll get it up and running. And so that would be 48 hours after it is running. If they're like super on the fence and you're just getting hammered with no's, that's something that you could do. Another option for a pilot offer would be using the like a AI chatbot to run a reactivation campaign to their old leads and see if you can generate some revenue for them that way before they pay you a dime. And then you would just up your cost per book job for that to compensate for it. Cold call opener. John, yeah, we booked 24/7 onto your calendar and you don't pay us until 20. Could I show you how it would work with your current number? That one, I'm not in love with it, but getting straight to the point has been a great pattern interrupt for me instead of trying to build up like fake rapport in the beginning. So another one, been John? Yeah. Hey, John, it's Roman. And I'm going to be transparent. This is a cold call. But if you give me 30 seconds and don't scream at me, and you can just give me a fair take on what you think of what I have to offer. If you don't like it, then you can yell at me. But that's all I'm asking for. That's another version that is just super upfront with it being a cold call. Some objections and some clean answers for you, just based off parallel industries. We already have a receptionist. Awesome, yeah. This handles after hours and like peak overflow, and of course like the instant callbacks. So that way you'll get more bookings without having to add more people to front desk or have somebody working the line 24/7. What if it books bad jobs? Yeah, no, I mean, totally understand that concern. That's part of our onboarding process. We actually define booked job based on your qualifications. That way we're perfectly kind of in alignment there. Get that in writing. And then we exclude like warranty calls, spam, out of area, and we'll review it weekly together, and then we can adjust from there. We don't want this. We just want leads. Totally understand. But honestly, what I've found has been the most impactful for the HVAC owners that I've worked for in the past is they were swamped with leads before, but their calendars were still empty. That's why we focus on getting jobs on the calendar, and then that's what we deliver and bill on. Does that make sense? Price. How much do you charge? Yeah, our base just keeps the lights on, And then our per booking aligns us to produce the best results. And then, of course, just as our guarantee, there's no second payment at all until 20 are booked on your calendar. And that's just sort of a quality assurance, make sure that we're doing our job. Super basic legal stuff, like I talked about before, getting that book job definition. Recording and texting consent is massive so you don't get flagged. Data, you're going to be using their CRM so that they own the data. And then cancellation, just do a 14-day notice. Final invoice includes the book jobs to date. That's just stuff to throw in on a contract if you go that route. Expansion path. Ew, this is ugly. Ugh. There we go. Collect every single win, testimonial, and result that you can get your grubby little hands on. Stockpile them in Google Drive if you don't want to format them all pretty right away, because these are going to be what help you to grow and scale and dominate the other people. Because honestly, at the end of the day, even if you are producing the best results, if you can't prove you're producing the best results, nobody cares. Everyone's making the same promises. So then after HVAC, you can clone this over to plumbing, electrical, garage doors, roofing, take over more of the home services in general. Then you can always add on upsells. So doing just missed call text back, web to call speed to lead module, which would be like training for them if they want to take it in-house. I'm not in love with that, to be honest. Reactivations, like I said before, so that could be used either as like a low friction intro or as a bolted on add-on. And again, that would be just collecting more per booking or a one-time setup fee. I mean, there are a million different ways you could slice that. Seasonal promotions and a specialized dispatch dashboard if you are on the more technical side. All of this together, here you go. Package it as a 24/7 AI booking agent that answers in one ring, books to the calendar, and follows up until they're scheduled. Pricing it at $497 setup plus $497 every 4 weeks. That'll squeeze out that extra billing cycle each year. Plus the $25 per book job with the simple risk reversal, no second payment until 20 bookings. You're going to build it inside of Go High Level. Again, you can get the 14-day free trial down below. Get your numbers, wire the calendars, set up the auto callback, and I do the outbound. And add a booking first voice agent prompt inside there, your confirmations, and your weekly reporting. Again, confirmations and stuff, they're a bunch of pre-built templates, so that'll be super easy. Define the book job super clearly so that the billing is nice and clean. Sell it as an after-hours leak, where they are literally flushing money down the toilet. Manage the bookings per 100 calls and the first response time. Start with HVAC and then go into other trades. So I will drop this in my school group, which now has a free tier. So if you'd like it, you can just grab it inside there. It is called Make Money with AI. I know, genius name, right? Let me pull it up real quick. But yeah, man, I'll throw it in here. And so inside here, we got free tier, paid tier. I'm not going to try and sell you on the paid tier. That's still getting built out, so it is at a discount. But yeah. My friend, thank you for answering my question. Of course, Astro X. I got you. No problem at all. The new workflow builder is a total game changer for agencies. Honestly, I'm not super convinced about that yet because it's visually different, but functionally seems to be the same. I haven't played around with it a ton just because I prefer to stick with things that work in general. Like, I'll play around with new tools if I have extra time during the day, but if I have a system that is working, I don't try and go change it just because something new came out. So I haven't spent a lot of time with it. It seemed, sell me on using it. Why not? Hey, Roman, super valuable content. Really appreciate it. Currently having two big doubts from Christ of Dome English. Okay. First one is I can't decide what service to do. Copywriting, AI automation, digital marketing, etc. I have a developer background, so AI automation makes the most sense to me, but I don't know if I necessarily have to pick one. or if they're offered in a package. Totally. I mean, especially digital marketing and copywriting go hand in hand. If you're going to be like a solopreneur, and then AI automation with like what we just talked about. Um, the way to weave that in is you just sell ads plus this. So that'd be the AI automation plus digital marketing, which includes copywriting, which is a dynamite offer. Secondly, how skilled do I need to be with my offer before pitching? My friend got his first client only knowing the rough roadmap, or should I start calling businesses about their problems, making some projects for myself to get experience, then reach out? It's also difficult to do that without access to real accounts data, etc. Do not get stuck up on being skilled with the offer. I would say, like, just make the offer. Like I just made an example offer right there, and then get on the phone, talk to as many real business owners as you can, identify where their biggest pains are. Then you can pitch them on what you have, offer to do it for free if you want, and then you can kind of restructure your offer to lean towards the solution of the biggest pains that they are saying to you. So, if you're not having conversations with business owners that you want to work with, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there. So that'd be priority number one. Now, as you're having those conversations, if you are not familiar with any AI tools like Go High Level's voice AI stuff or their chatbots or Make.com or N8N, if you have no experience with any of those, then give yourself a day or two just to follow along with some YouTube tutorial and make something for yourself. But do not get super caught up on that. You will learn how to use the tools once your feet are in the fire. So, yeah, man, start talking to business owners. Do you have drop your niche? Drop your niche in here. If you don't have one, again, inside the school community, which the free tier should have access to this. How to pick a $. Yeah, right here. How to pick a $. Niche. This will take you through the full thing right here. Just grab it, runs you through all that good stuff. Yeah. So hopefully that answered it. If you want to drop a comment with more context around the niche you're targeting, the offer you're thinking about selling, and all that stuff, more than happy to continue to help out. All right, daily growth stats. We are at 6:45. Cool. It is October 29th. Halloween's coming up. That's pretty fun. I'm going to be Denji from Chainsaw Man. Fun fact. And then as far as what I actually did today to grow the business, building out the encapsulated upsells inside of the coaching consulting company that I am a partner in. So again, I'm a third partner in a coaching consulting company that I'm integrating AI into as many places as possible. We house our clients on School, and it used to be we had a free group, we had a paid group, and then we had basically a higher level coaching that wasn't even in a group. Now that School has dropped tiers, we can merge most of them into one place. Right now, like phase 1 is getting our 410s and our 2,000 a month guys in the single paid group, and then just having those two tiers inside so we can more easily transition the 410s into the 2K, give them a peek behind the curtain, see what they're missing out on. And then what I'm thinking about doing is doing the freemium model, but in one group instead of two, like we were doing before, which means we'd have free tier where everything is locked, and then they can buy maybe like the ads course that's in there, but they can see all of the results that are being produced by our existing clients. I think that will do a better job of warming them up and just make the free to paid system work better overall. So free tier and the lower level and then the higher level. So that would be phase B, is implementing that with everything locked except for the one consumable that they can buy for a one-time purchase. So basically my day was a bunch of calls talking about that with the other two partners, and then transferring in a bunch of course material, building out additional things for the $2,000 a month clients inside there, so that there is more of a difference for the two levels there, and so like one doesn't feel like they're getting gypped. And yeah, that's been most of my day, but it's only half over, so we'll see what else I get done. We'll see you lovely folks tomorrow.